皆様こんにちは。ドジャース翻訳放送局です。カブスとの3連戦第2戦、今日のマウンドには日本のスーパールーキー佐々木朗希投手が登板しました。残念ながら最終スコアは16対0と大きく引き離されての敗戦となりましたが、試合の序盤は非常に接戦でした。佐々木投手はメジャー初となる5イニングを投げ切り1失点と好投を見せました。これまでの3試合ではなかなか5回まで到達できなかっただけに、彼自身にとっても大きな壁を越えたとインタビューで語っていました。試合の大きな分岐点となったのは3回の満塁パフェスの超ファインプレー。センターフェンス際で大ジャンプして打球をキャッチし、満塁ホームランを阻止する素晴らしい守備を見せました。このプレーがなければ佐々木投手の成績はかなり変わっていたことでしょう。佐々木投手のインタビューなどを含め、現地放送の様子を翻訳してお届けします。
Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. John Hartung, James Loney, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and what do they say? Mama said there'd be days like this, and this was an ugly one as the Dodgers' 10-game winning streak here at home comes to an end in spectacular, if not ugly fashion. They are shut out 16-0 in this game. Roki Sasaki was actually pretty good for 5 innings. He gave up just 1 run, and it was a 2-0 game, Nomar, going into the 7th inning, but the Cubs got 10 runs against the Dodgers bullpen, 5 more off of Miguel Rojas, and it was an ugly way to end it.
Yeah, it definitely was an ugly way to end it, but, you know, sometimes there's days where you just get your butt kicked, and that's exactly what the Dodgers did, and especially those last 3 innings. So when you have a day like this, you're trying to figure out, okay, what were the positives of the game? And definitely the positive is Roki Sasaki going that long into the game and only allowing 1 run. And, you know, this is one where you say, listen, we still got to win the series. We got to throw this aside, come back, play well tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked out of Sasaki was he got in some trouble. He got into that 3rd inning, and it was a situation where he did bear down. He threw strikes. So that just shows he does have the ability to fight back. And, you're going to let the guy put the ball in play sometimes. I know he's not trying to throw balls, but, he's got so much movement. But it was good to see the defense for us and bail him out.
And it was his 4th big league start, Noma. We were talking in the pregame, and even after his last outing, Dave Roberts was saying it's just all about continuing to put building blocks in place for his major league career.
It really is. And it's also last time his outing in Philadelphia, Dave Roberts was talking about, I want to see him be aggressive. I want to see him go out there and attack. And I thought he did a better job in Philly, and it's coming. It's there. And hopefully even today, when he looks back on this outing, made some solid pitches, some really good pitches. But at the same time, he has to recognize that, yes, he even missed with some of his fastball command. He missed over some of the middle of the plate, heart of the plate. And even then when he misses, he still has managed to get out. Like, his stuff definitely plays up here. And obviously he has to work on being consistent with his mechanics, finding a way to really get that command, which we know he had it in Japan. He was more of a command pitcher, but is still struggling to find that. But when he finds that, that stuff is there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what's going on in his mind, but he has to have that mentality that, yeah, I am better than you. That forkball is going to miss bats. It's going to go left. It's going to go right. It's going to dive down. And, yeah, it's going to be hard to control at times. But I do feel like this is where he's going to bear down and say, you know what? I know this was a good Cubs hitting team. I did pretty good. I got out of some jams, and I felt good towards the end. So I think this is a start that he can still build off of.
Yeah. Well, and we saw the defense behind him in this game. He was really helped. We saw that catch by Andy Pages. Pages made a couple of really nice catches, James, to help his outing, and also Teoscar Hernandez took a hit running toward the corner away from Justin Turner.
Yeah, I think it also helps, right? When the defense helps you out, you're probably a little more confident saying, okay, I can throw this first pitch strike right here. I trust that my defense is going to make this play. It's not always about striking a guy out. It's not always about lighting up the radar gun. If you can be efficient, throw strikes early, save your bullpen, that's something I think he's going to learn while he's over here.
Yeah, you're exactly right, James. That's an excellent point. Talked about not only have confidence, but to be able to say, even if I make a mistake, they can bail me out. And today, listen, the defense bailed him out. I mean, he was about, just a few inches from it being a little different ball game, and maybe not really making it through those 5 innings and only allowing just 1 run. But despite that, that's what the defense is there. You got to trust that. So now, yes, you can try to get ahead. You can attack those hitters. And hopefully somebody tells them that when you do that, when you're coming in the game and your defense knows that you are going to be in the strike zone, their range, their defense is even better because now they are anticipating that the ball is going to be in there. Your defense is on the toes, ready to make plays behind you.
All right, Roki Sasaki picks up his first decision as a major league pitcher. Unfortunately, is a loss as he gives up 1 run in those 5 innings. Let's hear from Roki right now. He's inside talking with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Roki, when you look at your outing today and just as a continuation of your outing in Philadelphia, do you feel like you're continuing to catch your stride and progress in the right direction?
今日の登板を振り返って、フィラデルフィア戦と何か継続されている部分があるんですかねと。
そうですね、初回の立ち上がりだったり最初の方、不安定なところもあったんですけど、その分、他はよくいいテンポで投げれたりだとか、いいコントロールで投げれたところもあったと思うので、前回の方が感覚的には良かった部分はあるんですけど、今回も今回で、そこまで崩れなくて良かったなと思ってます。
Didn't quite feel comfortable in my first inning, but felt like I hit a stride after that first inning, and overall a lot better command. That was something that I was able to, continue from my last outing.
Just to be able to get through 5 innings, though, I mean, is that something that means a lot to you, considering that is your first time doing it in the big leagues?
5イニングを投げ切ったっていうのは、佐々木さんにとってはすごく大事なことでしたかと。
そうですね、今日までの3試合で、なかなかイニング稼げなかったので、その分、その面では良かったというか、段階的にはいい方向に来ていると思いますし、ここが最低限になるように、頑張らないとなという気持ちであります。
Just given the context that I haven't reached the 5-inning mark the last 3 outings, I think it was really important for me to be able to reach that point this time and hope to be able to do that as a minimum going forward.
How have you felt about the command of your splitter, and how important is it going to be for that pitch to be in the strike zone once over the course of your outings?
スプリットのコントロールっていうのはどのぐらい大事なのか、特にストライクに投げれることに関しては。
そうですね、球種も持ってる球種も少ないので、全体的にフォークイコールボール球ってなってしまうとやっぱり苦しい部分はあるので、もちろんカウント取れるボールだったり、空振りを取れるただそれはいいことなので、今日はスライダーに結構最後頼ったんですけど、まっすぐがゾーンに行ってる時はしっかりフォークも、コントロールできたらもっとピッチングも楽になるのかなと思ってます。
Yeah, it does put me in a little tough spot when I, considering that I don't throw a variety of pitches. So today I had to lean on the slider at the end of the game to get something over the plate aside from my fastball. But when my fastball command is good, guys, I feel like will swing a little bit more on my split.
What do you think of the count?
So some positives to take out of this one tonight. Roki Sasaki going 5 innings for the first time in his major league career. We heard him talking about how he wants to be able to go 5 each and every time out moving forward. Right now, let's head back upstairs, check in with the guys who called this one, Joe Davis and Eric Karros.
Not a lot to talk about in this one. 16-0, the Dodgers fall. So let's look ahead to tomorrow. Tyler Glasnow takes it.
Yeah, it'll be good to see him get back out there. Had a rough one against Philly. Just the conditions weren't ideal. Lost some control, but he's looking to rebound and come back and have a strong outing.
Easier to flush a game like this after you have a little fun with Rojas and.
I think so. There were some good things, though. I mean, Andy Pye has played some good D out in center, and Roki Sasaki, which, again, that's the thing that's most important right now for the Dodgers. He had another good outing, and it's, again, continuing to climb that ladder.
All right, it's the rubber match tomorrow. Dodgers and Cubs wrap up this 3-game series.
Carl's Jr. moment of the game, and James, really, it was the only moment of the game if you're the Dodgers. This catch by Andy Pye is incredible.
Yeah, it gave something to people to cheer about early on in the game. Pye's, he's not the fastest guy, but he gets great jumps. It was a great route right there, and, great effort right there to save that. I think that's definitely going out.
That would have been a grand slam if it had left the building. So a huge save there for Roki Sasaki. Otherwise, we're talking about a much different outing, Nomar, instead of just 1 run allowed over 5 innings. What did you see from Roki tonight?
Well, what I saw was, one, the defense definitely was behind him and picked it up. The other thing, too, is we talk about when a guy has kind of a forkball, split finger that is devastating. We talk about those guys having to be able to control the bottom of the zone and how effective. And we're going to see in the K zone as we go through here with some of those pitches where the bottom of the zone became really effective. Here he is in that first inning. You got a 2-0, got a fastball, the defense picking you up. That ball was smoked right there, hitting really well, but not necessarily the bad spot right there. Like, all right, but you still got to stay farther down the zone. This ball, we noticed, maybe on the corner, but it was up. You're also 2-2. They're recognizing, listen, I'm going to look fastball on this guy because he struggles, and he's able to drive it out of the ballpark. Now that location gets a swing and miss down in the zone. Here, 3-2, kind of losing some of that command. Those guys are going back saying, hey, he's having trouble with the fastball. Look up. While they are looking in the middle of the zone, it gets hit. He's still having trouble. I know they come out there. They want to calm him down a little bit as well. Here's another ball up in the zone. Hit. Here's your defense picking you up with the bases loaded. Would have really changed the whole complexion of his outing, no doubt. But you can still see up in the zone. Great defense. Yes, you appreciate the help. Andy Paez coming through. Huge right there. But now we're going to go back. Still try to hit that bottom part of the zone. That ball's a little bit up as well. Not quite where Austin Barnes wanted. A little bit down. And you got some good defense. That's great. Let's get there. There it is. And that's the breaking ball. Man, when you're down there, and you can also establish a fastball down there, that breaking ball starts going there. He talked about how he was going to his slider. All of that even induce weak contact. Hopefully he sees some of these, like, okay, where exactly are my location? The one I know command is, but hopefully recognize that's an important part.
And we saw some more sliders from him tonight, James, and how important do you think that's going to be going forward for him to truly establish that third pitch? Because we know the fastball plays and that forkball is freakish.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be too many good hitters that are going to sit on that forkball at times. I'm not saying they're going to hit it because it is nasty, but I do love the idea of establishing that slider on the first pitch in certain situations, maybe men on base, scoring position, a close game. But, you know, really you got to go back and watch the video as a pitcher and say, did I establish the pitches I wanted to? Were the pitches they hitting? Were they in the middle? Were they on the corners? And that's something you got to go back and look at the tape, and you'll know for the next time, you know, how you want to attack other guys.
That slider's going to be critical, and I hope he knows that. The reason being is, right now, as we were looking at that K zone, if I'm a hitter, I'm going, listen, I just have to look up in the zone. Fastball, because you don't want that forkball. If it's down, you know, it's going to be a ball. So I would force him if he can't find it with his fastball down there. So that slider is going to have to look like that and hit that bottom part of the zone.
Well, we got to give it to the Dodger fans here. The Dodgers just lost 16-0, and we're hearing "Let's Go Dodger" chants. It's not going to spoil their evening one bit. They showed out in a big way tonight, and still with the energy, the positivity. It's just one game on the schedule. Well, fans, each night, if Dodgers pitchers strike out at least 7 batters, everyone will get a free Jumbo Jack the following day at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink at LA area restaurants. Unfortunately, tonight, not only did the Dodgers lose 16-0, they only had 4 strikeouts. But another chance coming up tomorrow when Tyler Glasnow starts the series finale against the Cubs. It was an ugly one. Let's head inside and get Dave Roberts' thoughts right now. He's talking with the media.
Where do we start?
Yes. No, but if you go back to that 7th inning, that's when things really shifted in this game. Obviously, Ben Casperis was excellent to start the season. What just was missing for him tonight?
I think tonight Ben just didn't command the baseball. The slider wasn't sharp. The fastball was miscommanded. You know, you can see the 1-2 fastball to Carson Kelly had count leverage. Fastball goes middle in, supposed to go away with count leverage, and hits a homer, and it just sort of spiraled right there, and he just couldn't make pitches tonight. And he's been great. He's been great for us last year. He was great for us early on. So I'm not going to put too much credence into one, rough outing.
And then with Roki, did you find that today was just kind of a continuation of what you were able to see in Philly, and just how he's starting to find his stride?
Absolutely. Today, the hope was he continues to build on the last start, and I think for me that was the silver lining of the night, and probably most important piece of the game was for him to get better, go deeper in the game, throw strikes, get strikeouts, soft contact. And obviously there was a play early that Pages made that play off Bush's bat, which was huge. But, it was still good to see Roki go in and settle, and he got his rhythm. And he looked really sharp tonight. So first time in the 5th inning. And like I told him down below afterward, is now we can kind of keep pushing him along going forward.
Those 2 balls in the first off Brown were hard to. You guys kind of stressed early. Were you surprised that you were able to build off of that later on?
Yeah, I was a little bit, but I think in one of those things, and I haven't seen the game watching it back, but Brown was really good tonight. He synced up his fastball. His breaking ball was sharp. It's high velocity stuff, and you got to give him credit too. He threw a heck of a ball game, and outside of that early first, we didn't really threaten beyond that, and then the game just sort of got away. But yeah, I think for me right now, it's just the mindset of trying to forget this one and win a series. Obviously, it got really ugly towards the end, but we saved our pitching in a game that, got away from us. So I feel really good about tomorrow, and Glass now taking the mound and having a fully stocked pen tomorrow.
Do you think that Miguel's impressions of your starters was pretty decent, at least?
Yeah, I guess a little bit of levity in a game like that, I guess, certainly is helpful, and I think he's does a good job with our relievers. So it just shows he watches the games. But he gave us, to be able to throw 2 innings was huge for us. We needed every bit of that.
All right, tough night for the Dodgers. It's what we call a condensed highlight, if you will. Nomar, some good defense by Andy Pages behind Roki.
I mean, this was huge. I mean, Andy Pages really saved the night for Roki. Roki can walk away from this game for a decent outing, but man, this was the play of the game. Andy Pages looked like robbing a grand slam there in center field.
It was a good pitcher's duel for a while. 2-0 going into the 7th inning, but things really unraveling for the Dodgers. Ben Casparius gave up a 5 spot in that 7th inning. The Cubs would add 4 more in the 8th, and things got so bad, James, that Miguel Rojas had to come in and pitch 2 innings and provided some levity as he imitated some of his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting crushed this much, you're having a little fun in the bullpen, seeing what stances we can do. We were trying to figure that one out, but we got Sasaki out of that. But it was nice to, save our bullpen for tomorrow and be ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how good the Cubs were. It didn't matter who you threw out there. It didn't matter who you imitated. They were hitting bombs.
Yep, 16-0. Dodgers now 11-5 on the season. Roki Sasaki is tagged with a loss. 1 run in 5 innings. He struck out 3. Teoscar Hernandez went 2 for 3. Shohei went 1 for 3. Did steal his 4th base of the season. We saw that great catch by Andy Pages. Let's hear from Pages right now inside talking with the media.
Just Andy, to be able to route that home run for you, have you felt like you're catching your stride defensively? Obviously, we've seen the results offensively, but just do you feel like now it's all coming together?
Puedes hablar sobre la jugada en el jardín central. ¿Piensas que la confianza está creciendo en el jardín central para ti?
Sí. Resulta que en ese mismo momento estaba hablando con Teo y le dije que, o sea, antes de ese picheo dije que, o sea, si le daban para donde estaba yo tenía que cogerla de cualquier forma porque estaban las bases llenas, entonces en ese mismo momento salió el fly y pude agarrarla.
Yeah, I was talking to Teo that pitch earlier, and I said any ball that's hit to me anywhere in the vicinity, I have to make a play, and luckily I was able to make the play.
Walk us through that. When did you think you were going to get? Did you realize how close it was going to come?
Háblanos un poquito sobre la jugada. ¿Tú pensaste que ibas a poder atrapar la pelota y cuando la atrapaste, tú pensabas que sí la ibas a atrapar? Cuando estabas corriendo, sí ibas a atraparla?
Sí, estaba bastante, o sea, le pude agarrar un buen jump, entonces cuando estuve cerca simplemente sentí la pared y salté y la pude agarrar.
Yeah, I was able to get a great jump, and when I got close to the wall, I was able to feel where I was at and be able to jump and make the play.
All right, so meantime, down on the farm, AAA Oklahoma City, Haesung Kim, he's on a bit of a tear at the moment. Homered last night for the first time. Tonight he hit 2 more. One of them was 462 feet. So suddenly, Kim's making a bid, James, to possibly get a call up to the show at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, he's driving the ball. You see right there in the left center gap. We saw the right center home run. And I just like that he's nice and quiet at the plate. There's not too much going on. And, obviously AAA is different than the big leagues, but you know what? We might see him up here soon.
Well, listen, this is exactly why sometimes you go down there to the minor leagues is you work on some things, you get your confidence, you go out there, then you prove that those things are working. So hopefully that you get a call up.
Well, we know he can play second base, he can play third base, he can play some outfield as well. But what I want to ask you, Nomar, is about the Dodgers offense. They come home from this road trip, and outside of Tommy Edmonds' home run last night. The Dodgers offense have been really quiet the last two games, whether it's, getting a guy like Kim up here. This team can certainly use a spark right now.
Yeah, they definitely can. And, when you look at this offense, we always talk about the top of it. Why? Because they're outstanding all-stars, superstars at the top of this offense. And you need them to get going because there are a lot of times those guys at the top really set the tone, whether it's Shohei, Mookie, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman just coming off the IL. So right now, even this offense for the Dodgers, we know, have really not hit their stride collectively. And then you look at all the way up and down through the lineup, and some guys still struggling to get to kind of their rhythm there. And yet you still see their record. You still see where they are. They manage to win runs. That's important because when you are not clicking on all cylinders, because that's going to happen over a course of a season, you have to find a way to win. That's what the Dodgers have done. In today's game, you get a blowout. You have to turn the page, but you still have to find a way to win this series. So hopefully the top of the lineup can get things going. But listen, Kim's making a point. That's what it's all about. You are pushing the guys up there. They can't just be so comfortable to say, listen, all right, you're going to have an extremely long leash. If you're not cutting it and there's some positions and he has to come up here and, spark, then do it.
I mean, the Dodgers are so good offensively, so I feel like, you kind of leave them down there for a little bit, let them get those at-bats, let them get that confidence, and, give these guys a little bit of time. I mean, obviously it's the World Series champions, so, I think maybe an injury or something like that, but I think we'll definitely see them, down there for at least a month or two and get more at-bats.
All right, well, tomorrow, Tyler Glasnow is going to get the start for the Dodgers in the series finale against the Chicago Cubs, and no one happier to be back in sunny California than Glasnow. In his last start, he was good for the first couple of innings, but then it started raining a little bit. He gave up 5 runs to the Phillies in that third inning. We know it's going to be sunny and about 72 degrees here, James, at Dodger Stadium, so what are you hoping to see out of Glasnow tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm sure he's itching to get back out there. I know he had some trouble on the mound. It was a little wet, a little rainy, so I feel like he's ready. He's locked and loaded. He's got that confidence. He's got that bulldog mentality. He wants to pitch. He wants to be pitch 9 innings. He wants to go the whole game. He's that kind of guy, so I'm looking forward to seeing him out there tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully maybe in the side session. A lot of times when you have just kind of those games, whether it's the elements, whatever it may be, that you're going, okay, I just need that practice. I need to just go back there, find my mechanics, get that confidence back, and say, okay, it was just one of those days. I got to brush it aside. I let the environment get to me, but I'm back on track, go out there and take it to them.
All right, well, that does it for this edition of Access Sportsnet Dodgers. For James Loney, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Kirsten Watson, I'm John. Thanks for watching. We will see you Monday. Enjoy the game Sunday on ESPN.
この敗戦でドジャースのホーム10連勝は途切れてしまいましたが、明日のシリーズ最終戦では平良グラスノー投手が先発予定。シリーズ勝ち越しをかけた大事な一戦での好投を期待しましょう。マイナーリーグの AAA では韓国人有望株のキム・エソー選手が大活躍。昨日に続いて今日も2本のホームランを放ち、そのうち1本はなんと462フィートの特大弾だったそうです。近い将来のメジャー昇格も期待される活躍ぶりですね。明日こそは気持ちを切り替えて勝利を目指しましょう。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。